and welcome back to Good Knit Kisses. This is Kristen, and this is brought to you by allfreeknitting.com. Today we're talking about changing colors on the loom, and it doesn't matter what loom you have. Today I've got a Decor Accents DA looms today, but you could use a Nifty Knitter or another brand out there. There's a couple of different ways to change, and I'm going to show you one of those today and mention one first. I'm actually changing from, I've got a nice soft Lion Brand homespun yarn here that I have on my loom, and I'm going to take that off and then go ahead and go back with a boucle. This is a Rainbow Sensations boucle from Joann's, and I've already started it on my loom, so you can kind of see what these look like. This is the homespun, and then I've got a boucle, and then what you can't see is I've got a couple more rows of this homespun, and then I'm going to put the boucle back on. So here we go. Now I've already got my boucle threaded. This is just a homemade yarn guide here because my pegs are so close together. This is just a really hard straw from actually a kid's party favor, and I've got one on both of my my new yarn here, my boucle, and my old one homespun that I'm taking off. One thing you can do is cut the strand of this one and then tie on a new one really close to the peg and then wrap it around, and then you know it's not coming undone. You've got a surgeon's knot on there, but I'm going to show you a different way to do it. So what you want to do is you can go ahead and cut your old yarn, and if you're not sure about it, cut like about a 6-inch strand. And I'm going to make sure and leave this threader on here, so to save it, I'm actually going to tie this around here, loop it around, and then go around again, and then kind of leave a little bit of a loop here so you can just pull this out, and it's ready the next time. You don't have to thread it on if you're switching your colors out. And set that aside. I'm just setting that on top of my yarn over here. And then I've got my new color, and I'm going to make a slip knot, wind it around. I'm going to take the back over the front, and then again. And I've got a little bit of a tail going on here that's going to get wrapped up in my work. And now I'm going to take this slip knot, and I'm actually going to put it in the peg in front of my, right next to my slip stitch. And this loom is a flat panel, and this is the beginning of my panel, and then this is the end. It goes in a big S. So I'm actually going to go on the second one because the way this wraps around, this is always a slip stitch here, and so I'm going to put the slip knot in front of it and tighten that up. Okay. Now that I've got that on there, I'm actually going to take these two together. So this is my cut part of my first strand, my first yarn, my gray, and then I have my black boucle. And now the boucle is variegated, but right here it's black. So I'm going to take them together, and I'm going to wrap, first I'm going to wrap this first one around on top of that, and now I'm going to take them together and wrap around my second peg and my third peg, and then I'm going to continue wrapping my pegs. Now the pattern I have on here, I'm actually skipping one. That's just a pattern I had set forth. But now that I've already got a couple of them on there, I'm just going to take this yarn and weave it through. Okay, so that's my first strand, and then the tail end of my second strand is there too, so I'm actually just going to weave that through as well, kind of in the opposite direction. And so when I knit over, this actually will get knit into my work, and then you won't see it. You can leave this part out. I intend to cut this because it gets a little hairy on the homespun once that other extra yarn kind of goes away. But so once you get a couple of rows done and it starts coming out of your work, then you'll be able to see where these spots are, and you can cut them because you know you've already got them. So once you've wrapped a few, if you want to go ahead and knit over just to make sure that you've got it, you could go ahead and go back to your first, knit that over, and knit this one over, over again, Again, this is part of a pattern that I had already skipped, so I didn't. I intentionally left that one off. And knit over, and knit over. Now this little straggler is just going to end up getting cut later on in my work. I could cut it now. I'm just going to cut a little bit, so I know that I've done that part. But later on, it may pop out of one of these other ones, but you've already got it locked in, so it's in there to stay. It's not going anywhere. So just continue on. You've already got these knitted over, but continue wrapping all the rest of your pegs, and you've changed your color. Thanks for joining us at Good Knit Kisses, and my friends at allfreenknitting.com. Have a great day and happy looming!